A fantastic Saturday afternoon it is. Of course, if you're just tuning in right now, this is the touchline on Y254. My name is Maxwell Wasike. We're doing matter sports, both local and beyond, covering all the sporting happenings from wherever you are. Keep talking to us. What's happening in your neighborhood? 22162 is our SMS line, starting with the word touch. Talk to us. Hashtag on Twitter, touchline Y25 at Y254, channel at Wasike Maxwell. And right about now, we delve straight into one of the brilliant initiatives that has been launched by one of the high-profile clubs locally, AFC Leopards. And joining me on set are the stakeholders involved in the same. They launched an AFC Leopards Sacco last week, and of course in attendance were several politicians, being presided over by Devolution CS Eugene Wamalwa. Others who attended alongside him are Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka, Committee Member of Parliament Didmas Barasa, and even Westland's Member of Parliament Tim Wanyonyi, a man who's been dedicated and devoted towards ensuring that AFC Leopards is supported both financially and morally. Good to speak to the trio. Maurice, Osundwa, chairman of AFC Leopards Sacco, closer to me at the middle, a man whom I'm reliably informed attended the same school with the Deputy President William Ruto. You're going to tell us about that. I've never known, just reading in papers. That is Reginald Asibwa, of course, having attended Wareng High School, and at some point he went to Green Commandos of Kakamega High School, but they are doing nice at the Eldoret as far as ball games are concerned. Then another young man joining us is Enos, Mutoka, AFC Leopards treasurer. Good to have you on board, gentlemen. Starting with you, Maurice.
Thank you.
What inspired you to come up with this idea?
Fine. Having been a member of FC Leopards leadership, I was the secretary during the time when FC didn't have a sponsor. And we looked at it and asked ourselves so many questions. Do we really need to go back on the streets begging, walking around offices looking for money? The answer is no. And we went to the drawing board and asked ourselves, how can you define FC Leopards? FC Leopards is defined as a club that was formed in 1964, and the deeper definition here are the people who created the brand. The likes of Mzee Noah Wanyama, the likes of Mzee Joe Kadenge, JJ Masiga, Josephat Morila, Reginald Asibwa, George Sunguti, Nick Weche, Washington Kamadi, Tony Lidonde, Mike Amwai, Agri Lukoi, the whole team. And we realized all these guys are still alive and able to help us move the brand to the next level. Of course, for so many years, we've looked at FC Leopards in terms of being only participating in the sports activity. But if you look at sports world over, it's an economic empowerment tool. So we asked ourselves, why are we in Kenya and Africa not using sports for economic empowerment? Of course, if you realize, it's only sports that can be able to speak to the youth in a language they understand. It's only sports that can be able to talk across racial barriers and break them and create peace. It's only sports that can be able and was able to be used to speak to Kenyans in 2008, 2007 during the post-election violence. It's been taken to all over. It's been taken to Northeastern, it's been taken to Pokot, and you see it. Then we sat down and asked ourselves also, if you look at regions like Rift Valley that have taken their sports, which is athletics, seriously, it's economically empowering people there, and the returns can be seen. And then you sit and ask yourself, are we going to sit and wait and just discuss about these things, or we can be able to move and execute them? That's what originated this initiative.
Mr. Asibwa, good to speak to you. I know amongst people this initiative is targeting is former Leopards player. Yes. You played for the club. You also featured for the national team. But just before you tell us, where have you been?
I have been around, and I want to say that I've been active, although not in public, but I've been very supportive of football from grassroots, and even to to the national level. And as of now, I also play for ex-internationals. We have our own team, those who retired. We still go and do some exercises and find time to play as well. So I have been very active. And just to add on, I am part of this Sacco because I see it as a, as a tool that can help us as former players. You know, we cannot live daily, you know, because you need to have something that is stable, that is available for you in terms of medication, in terms of upkeep, where you can go and, you know, get help when you are sick, and also gathering and just coming together is an advantage as well, because there are some people you play together, but after playing you don't see them again, and just meeting and interacting is a good thing for us as former players. So the Sacco is also a tool that we can, you know, organize friendly matches, and it can help us even promote soccer in villages, because we have our own team that will travel across the country, Mombasa, Nyeri, Kisumu, Kakamega, Eldoret, just to enlighten and to identify talent. So it has a lot of things, and it is unfortunate that, you know, it has taken us a little while to come up with this Sacco. And even looking at the name AFC Leopards Sports Club, you know, people don't look at the S and C. S and C means sports club. I expect us to form even ladies team, you know. There are so many sports that can be affiliated to AFC Leopard, yes, because it is a sports club. It's not a football club, it is a sports club. So everything can be, AFC can be an umbrella for so many things.
And when some of my friends learned of your coming to the show, they tasked me to, you know, get your views with regards to, you know, did you go to the same school with Deputy President William Ruto? Because FC Leopards has been struggling, yeah, and according to them, they think that if Reginald Asibwa attended the same school, yeah, with DP, then it happens that they are good friends, and whenever we're struggling financially in terms, yeah, of crippling financial status, he needs, yes, to, yes, make a call to the DP who can come to our rescue.
Yes.
Can you confirm that?
Yes, I went to the same school with His Excellency Deputy President. We knew one another while in Form 1 in 1981, when we were hardly 15 years. He was my buddy, he's still my buddy. We used to sleep in the same dome constructed of logs, ripe plywood logs. And I was somehow a windbreaker, because my bed was closer to the door, and his was just next. So, and he used to play volleyball. And when we went to Wasingishu High School, at times it was a boarding and day. So at times we were less in football, and I could tell him to come and play position 2, and he was, you know, more than willing, and he used to play. Wow. So he's my friend. Although, you know, he's a little bit more busy now, we cannot, you know, meet all the time. But on several occasions, AFC Leopards has gone to his office, and he has also inquired about why probably I did not go with them. So he's a good person. I still support him, but seeing him is you know, a hurdle because of you know, the nature of
the
his
engagements,
work. Yes,
and the office,
yep,
duty.
Yes.
But good to know that, of course, only such informations can be revealed on the touchline on Y254. That's why I'm telling you, you don't want to miss staying tuned every Saturday 1 to 3. But Enos, speak to us about matters finances. It has been some sort of elusiveness when it comes to appropriation and financial propriety and accountability and transparent of funds available not only to FC Leopards but various clubs as far as top flight is concerned. How well do you intend to make well use of the funds that will be channeled to the Sacco to ensure that, you know, there is no report of misappropriation of the same?
Thank you for having us here, Wasike. We are here to talk matters AFC Leopards Sacco, and as the treasurer, you can see that I am the youngest here, and I am here purposely to grow with the Sacco. Being a youth and handling matters finance, we want to bring a change to how things are managed in this country, because we understand that matters finances in the country is an elusive topic. As you have said, many things are going wrong, but we have decided that AFC Leopards, all member money is going to be accounted for. We are soon putting in place a Sacco solution, web-based solution that will manage the membership We'll manage the finances, we'll manage the credit flow, we'll manage each and every coin that gets the account. And so we are telling Kenyans, we are telling fans and supporters, members that come to FC Leopards, your money is secure. We are here to work with you. We are here to empower you and empower the club. So they should not have any worry.
Maurice, in terms of modalities and procedures of registration for anyone who is outside there and is watching and probably is interested in the idea, what's the situation like in terms of how you can register and even channel your contributions and the registration and contribution numbers if as well there is? I know it is something that you emulated on your rivals Gor Mahia Football Club who did it 2 years ago. Isn't that the case?
That may not be the case. I would like to get clear on this because
yes.
The Sacco initiative for FC Leopards started in 2016 when IMC came into leadership.
True.
I think part of that team I was there, Mzee Opora was there, Mzee Wanyama were there. And we said we never wanted again to go back borrowing or begging. A sponsorship was just one option, but we said we can be able to raise 200 million for this club annually. But of course, it's not just the club. We can be able to empower the whole fraternity that follows FC Leopards. Because FC Leopards is a family of supporters. These people live ordinary lives and they sacrifice to go to the field. And every other time you've looked at various walls, one critical thing that comes out very clear is they are always fundraising to bury their loved ones. They are always fundraising to pay the bills of fans.
Yes.
In hospital. You've seen even players falling sick. And the solution to that is the Sacco in place. What I want to bring to the attention of all the observers, all the people who are viewing, is that FC Leopards Sacco has already put in place the first product. And the first product is a cover, a medical cover. We are partnering with one of the insurances in the country, which we are going to unveil very soon. And the cover has two components. One is a medical part of it that takes care of all the medical bills, the NHIF model. Then the second component of it is that the cover pays for the last of expense. So all funeral expenses are well taken care of. We did an estimate and realized we spend over 200,000 to transport the body from here to wherever it's going to. And we said, this is something that is consuming FC Leopards fraternity and the whole community as a whole. But if you look at it in modern society, it's something that the insurance has taken away already. So what have we done? We partnered with one of the insurance. We are paying them annual premiums to take care of our members, the principal member like me and him, and our spouses, our children, to a maximum of 4 children, and our parents, 4 parents, the parent to the member and the 2 parents to the spouse. If we happen to be bereaved or to lose one of us, the insurance provides 200,000 cash money within 24 hours. And this is what is going to go a long way in letting our members know that what we spend on fundraising for funerals is enough money to invest. And we can be able to refocus our energy on productive investment. We can be able to refocus our money on business, because that's what will create wealth for us. Take, for example, Wasike. Our greatest fan base includes Nakuru, Nairobi, Mombasa, and of course the Western region. They do a lot of chicken in Western. Those are our members in waiting. And once we have all of them on board, we also need to create a market for their chicken. So what would be wrong in FC Leopards Sacco marketing the products of the members in Nairobi? And I think the next component will be people rushing to buy chicken from FC Leopards Sacco. And that's how we want to empower members. Look at the other component. So many people struggle and fight for transport. Our fans have to hire vehicles. Sometimes they are driven badly. They have accidents on the way when they are going to watch our matches. What is wrong in FC Leopards Sacco providing a solution by having 3, 4, 5 buses on the road? they'll not lack customers. What is so wrong in FC Leopards Sacco making sure that all these members, including legends who played for this beautiful club, have a place to live, affordable homes for these legends? Not necessarily legends alone, but for all the members. What is so wrong in FC Leopards Sacco being able to build a mall, an equivalent of Two Rivers Mall? All that is possible. And it's possible because if you look around what we've assembled as a Sacco, it has all the professionals cut across. As we speak now, it has 2 medical doctors. That is Dr. J.J. Masiga, the vice chair of the Sacco. It has Dr. Dan Shikanda, who is in the marketing committee of the Sacco. It has accountants. It has Patrick Shilaso Marbongo, nicknamed Atom, who was a good defender for FC Leopards. He's our internal auditor and is the chair of the supervision committee. It has Josephat Morila. Josephat Morila was the best defender. He's the head of our credit team. And Josephat Morila matters management. He's been in Kenya Airways for long enough. It has Asibwa. Asibwa is a well-known aviation officer. He's worked, he understands all those aircraft routes and the rest. Why can't we be able to put together all these skills and all these competencies and transform them into a vehicle that will empower people? Because ask yourself, political parties have been created. FC Leopards competes the likes of Kenya. Because being created in 1964, it means it's 1 year younger than Kenya. Then ask yourself, if it really commands the popularity the brand ought to be commanding today.
Yes, fair enough and excellent in case all those priorities gets executed. But now over to you, Asibwa. FC Leopards, as the chair Osundwa says, is a club of high profile, high magnitude, enjoying huge audience, massive fan following across the country. But it has to be a team of national outlook when it comes to recruitment of players and probably even technical bench and leadership. There has been complaint that it's reflecting the image of a certain community in the country. Is it the way to go, or probably we can deviate a little bit and traverse several parts of the country, even in terms of recruitment of players, getting officials even from central part of the country? Is it the way to go?
I don't think I will totally agree with you, because as of now, if you look at the composition of the players within AFC Leopards, you will find that not so many of them come from the community that probably you are referring to, and it has a little bit changed, because during our time, when you are at home, I used to play for the Green Commandos, and when you play for Green Commandos, your avenue was to get to AFC Leopards and then probably to the national team. But nowadays you will find that those in Green Commandos, Gor Mahia has taken over, because in the recent past, Gor Mahia has gotten more players from Green Commandos than AFC. AFC has deviated and it developed some faith, I don't know how, in West Africans, and some of them probably we have not had an opportunity to see them play. So you just hear that there is a player and they send a picture, and from a picture you cannot really tell whether somebody is good enough to play at AFC Leopards. So it needs some reorganization, and I don't want to say that they should recruit from Western alone, but I don't want again to say that they should go to West Africa, because the disadvantage with West Africa is we have no time. No scout has ever, I haven't heard that a scout has gone to West Africa to look at them before recruiting them. So it is a trial, and that is why most of them here have not succeeded. They come and the AFC spends a lot of money but gets nothing when they are going. We don't sell them. We don't get the value of our money back. And for the viewers, AFC started in 1964. And just to enlighten, although it's not really part of it, but just to enlighten those who are maybe young like you, AFC started in 1964, and this was the lineup in 1964.
Yes.
Goalkeeper was Gabriel Mwangi. He is at Karioko. He is still alive. Number 2 was Charles Makunda. Number 3 was Jonathan Niva. Number 4 was Anthony Mukabwa. Number 5 was Moses Wabwai. Number 6 was Daniel Anyanzwa. Number 7 was Joe Kadenge. Number 8 was John Ambani. Number 9 was Meshak Luchendo. 10 was Livingston Madegwa. 11 was John Nyawanga. Nyawanga has been, operating a sports, in a sports house along Moi Avenue here until just recently. So the composition was known, but nowadays I cannot really name, the first 11 as I'm doing for 1964, because there is no consistency. Somebody plays well today and badly tomorrow. So because of a lot of reasons. One of the reasons because they don't know if the welfare will be taken off, and this is why. We have a Sacco, so that it is sort of permanent. The players will, know that their, welfare will be taken care of through the Sacco. Maybe contributions, an amount of money from the contribution can be forwarded to, to the team, and that is a better way of doing it. Probably even better than Sport Pesa.
Wow, excellent. So, of course, you've talked about the amazing lineup that I can only probably get to know more details about the same from one of the seniors like Leonard Mambo Mbotela, who did excellent commentary with regards to the likes of Joe Kadenge Nampira.
Yes. That's
Logan. But now over to you, Enos. What's the partnership between the treasury of the Sacco and the financial aspect of the team in terms of those leaders at the helm of the team? Is there any outstanding relationship that will guide the operations of the team going forward, so that there is no disconnect between the Sacco and even the team itself?
Definitely, we are going to have a partnership with the club, because the Sacco exists because of the club. It is AFC Leopards club, and then the AFC Leopards Sacco, and therefore we have to come up with a formula on a way to coexist, so that the Sacco takes care of the responsibilities to do with finances, and the club takes care of the technical bench, and making sure that AFC Leopards regains that glory that we had, that Asibwa has just mentioned about the first. There's even 1989 that the AFC Leopards went unbeaten the whole season. And today, when you look at the club, even a team that you will expect AFC Leopards to really just walk over. The other day when we were playing at Kasarani,
Matata United.
Yes, and at 30 minutes in the game, and FC Leopards is 1 down. You're wondering, we just met Gor Mahia the last weekend. We were beaten 2-1. Again, we are meeting such a team, and we already won. We had just to miraculously get out of that shameful situation. And so we are saying that as a Sacco, our responsibility, we have sat as the board, and we are about to ratify that once the Sacco stabilizes, we would like to get 10% of the Sacco contributions being forwarded to the club. But then this will go to the club with the surety that the money that we send there will be translated into performance. Because again, we cannot just continue pumping money somewhere that it really becomes a white elephant kind of project. We want to see results, and we want to see a brand that we are not just talking of a sleeping lion. There's someone the other day who was saying that you go and you are hunting a dead lion. How does that give you that pride? As a Maasai, you have to go to the game and hunt a living lion, so that you are meeting with something that is strong. So AFC Leopards cannot continue to be a sleeping lion. We need to wake up and face the reality that we are this big brand. When we meet Gor Mahia, nowadays it's no longer a derby. How do you meet someone who is
a predetermined outcome?
Yes, someone who is ever number one, and
a result of Gor Mahia beating FC Leopards.
Exactly. And so we are saying that as the Sacco, as we stabilize as a Sacco using the brand of AFC Leopards, we want to support it and make sure that it gets to where it was.
Maurice, I know amongst people you're targeting are, players, fans, and even veterans like Asibwa here. But what's the membership eligibility in terms of anyone who is interested to join? What are the requirements needed for probably someone like myself to join, even if I'm not supporting FC Leopards and I'm just interested and impressed with the initiative itself?
First, SACCOs are run on simple principles.
Yes.
One of which, a SACCO is run on the principle of voluntary membership and democratic control. As long as you're a Kenyan and you agree with the objectives that we've put forth, you want to get economically empowered, you want to help the FC Leopards fraternity to get into the social welfare being taken care of, you are free to join. And we don't also encourage or advise people to come to the office or give anybody cash. There's a pay bill number which is 206777. Your account name is your ID number. You put the money there. We are able to get it from M-Pesa statements on who has sending money. It's an open vehicle. It's open because when you look at the history of FC Leopards, you'll be told it commands a following of 5 million people. And you can only be able to attract the interest of the 5 million supporters if you get an open vehicle. So that's how we're putting it. But just over to what you asked the treasurer, is what we intend to do to support the club. One critical thing is we are all products of FC Leopards. He's a former player, he's a former supporter. I went to court to petition bad leadership that was in FC Leopards to create the famous IMC, Interim Management Committee, that was being headed by the court. The time we got the sponsorship, I remember that time I was also involved heavily in negotiating with Betway. The purpose has always been to make sure that AFC performs well and the family or the community or the fraternity that supports AFC is economically empowered. Because then why should I be a chairman of a SACCO that is poor? The objectives are not leading poor people. And that's what we raised a challenge to the club. Because I can't be a chairman of FC Leopards Football Club and lead poor people going to the stadium, crossing over the fence because they can't be able to pay 200 or 100. The reversal of it is, I would rather sit down and make sure the whole fraternity is economically empowered so that they can be able to pay VIP even for those terraces. What does this essentially mean? If you go to Western Kenya, if you go to Bungoma County, the governor was talking about having a last of expense cover for elderly people within Bungoma County because he feels the fundraisings and the people who go to his office to ask for money for funerals are too many. If you ask all our politicians, even those who attended our launch, the critical issue is people in their homes and people in their office. We told them, and we are getting very clear, write down the list of those people, pay their registration fee in the SACCO, and tell them to come there and borrow. You will be able to build a culture that will enable these people to save, borrow, and invest. So we also want to help our political class to kill the culture or the disease of handouts, because you'll never be able to satisfy the needs. But if you bring them to a vehicle where they can be able to struggle and save and borrow knowing they have to repay, then it will be an enlightened society. We talk about failed projects, we talk about sugarcane in Western Kenya. People don't ask themselves why. Look at coffee in this country. Coffee is run by cooperatives. Look at dairy. Dairy is successful because of cooperative movement. Look at tea. Tea and pyrethrum in this country have succeeded because of cooperative movement. Sugarcane is failing because we don't have a strong cooperative movement. To even come and tell the president, look here, our turnover is 50 billion. Can you waive this 5 billion so that we empower these farmers to continue contributing to the 50 or 100 billion? And that's how we are looking at it. Because as a young Kenyan, been in politics, been in political parties, all of them across. If you ask me one thing that political parties are causing this country, they are spreading poverty instead. Because ask yourself, the people who go to those forums of politicians, they all want handouts. At the end of the meeting, each one of them wants to be given fair. Assuming we do our politics from a cooperative point of view. After the meeting, people are contributing. And that's why some regions in this country are beating us. People are contributing instead of asking for fare, they are saving their money there. The next time they come, they take a loan. So the dependencies problem is spread by the political parties we have. And it's a wake-up call to all our politicians. Think of it and let's mobilize the population we lead into an economic empowerment tool.
You believe Sacco will brilliantly solve the habit and tendencies of, stipends and handouts, and I'm looking forward to that. But Asibwa, as we wrap it up, I've just spoken a few minutes ago to one of the former FC Leopards chairman, and that's Alex Olemagelo, who believes that the team is not being run professionally and in accordance with the laws and how it's supposed to be. But from where you stand, what do you think about the current management of the team so far going forward? And do you think the plight of former footballers like yourself has been addressed? And how well can the former footballers be of significance and resource to the team?
From the onset, I think you don't need even to ask whether the office is doing well or not, because the performance will speak for itself. So I don't want to go and criticize them, because it's like most of them are not really mature enough, because when you say it, saying it means it gives you an opportunity to improve. But there is a lot that is required that is yet to be done for the team to come up. And the most important thing is leadership. So each leader, starting from the chairman, has to know their roles and have to do whatever is required to enable that the team is doing well. But there are so many things, policies and structures which are not in place. Like recruitment, there is no policy, because in the middle of the season, how do you recruit 8 players? It's like starting afresh. So there are several areas that the management is required to attend to and solve. And as former players, I have personally, with my colleagues, gone to the training ground, spoken to the players. Because when I was at Kakamega High School, our coach then, Chris Makoha, used to tell us, chase the mongoose first before you ask the cuckoo what it was looking for in the bush. But you find that players are complaining, they are not being paid. At the same time, they are losing. So it's even more difficult for them to approach the office, because if you don't win, then you don't have the guts to approach the office and tell them to solve your problems. But just to add on, as former players, we are almost 123 former players of AFC Leopards who are still alive. I think 16 goalkeepers, 32 defenders, almost 25 midfielders, 18 wingers, and I can name them. 16 goalkeepers. We have Abbas, Mohanji, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
They are still alive. So this is a forum that we want to utilize, travel across the country, help AFC Leopards also to identify players who can play in the team.
Enos, your parting shot as far as the treasury and financial aspects of the Sacco is concerned going forward. What are the expectations? How much should we expect in the accounts of the Saccos by the end of this year? Just rough approximation.
I want to assure our supporters, our members, that this is the big thing on the market at the moment, and they should watch us out. In the next 1 year, God willing, we may be among the biggest Saccos in the country. And we just launched this 2 weeks ago, and already our membership, we are talking of over 400 members. And if we can be able to bring on board all the 5 million members, supporters and fans of AFC Leopards, then this is the way to go.
Fantastic conversation on the touchline on 125. My name is Maxwell Wasike, talking about AFC Leopards Sacco, an initiative that was launched 2 weeks ago, and in attendance, Devolution CS Eugene Wamalwa being the guest of honor amongst other politicians who attended and channeled their contributions towards the Sacco that targets players, you know, other stakeholders like officials and other veteran players, and of course joining me on set were the people form an integral part as far as the initiative is concerned. Maurice Osundwa, closer to me, of course, chairman of the Sacco, he's been actively involved in matters AFC Leopards, and Reginald Asibwa is just confirmed on this platform that he schooled alongside Deputy President William Ruto and almost leapt together. Now for the AFC Leopards fans outside there who've been asking whether the same happened, is just confirmed, and probably, you know, when the team is crippled financially, DP would be the best person to call to come to your rescue.
He's more than willing to come.
Those who has hinted that this tendency of stipends and handouts from politicians should be something of the past. And Enos, Mutoka, the treasurer for the Sacco. Always a pleasure doing this. My name is Maxwell Wasike. Remember, international segment coming up next, the fan favorite segment, the Fan Zone, where we're giving a focus on matters football. Several pre-season friendly teams trying to bolster their squads ahead of the league kickoff. What's your probably remarkable signing that your team has acquired as far as the league kickoff, which is just earmarked for a few weeks from now as you speak, is concerned? Talk to us, 22162, our SMS line starting with the word touch. My name is Maxwell Wasike. Joining me on set in a few will be a robust team to take you through that. Don't go away, stay tuned.